Hello, and thank you for listening to this episode of the Moore's October Rants. Today's episode is going to be titled The Contagion of Misery. Misery is something every human will encounter at some point. Whether it's our own suffering or someone else's, it's inevitable. But more often than not, I've noticed it's other people who carry misery, and they tend to spread it. Sometimes it's subtle. They talk about their day, venting frustrations that have nothing to do with us. Yet somehow, their negativity seeps into the room like smoke. You breathe it in without realizing it. Just being around miserable people can shift your entire mood. Their energy is heavy, and if you're not careful, you'll absorb it. You'll start thinking like them, feeling like them, even behaving like them. It's disturbingly easy to slip into that mindset. You listen to someone spiral, and before you know it, you're spiraling too. That's why mindfulness matters, especially around people who are emotionally volatile. You have to guard your thoughts. You have to be intentional about your actions. Otherwise, you'll find yourself mirroring the very mindset you once criticized. And the truth is, it's not always easy to escape these people. Misery is everywhere. Everyone carries some version of it. Some wear it on their sleeves. Others bury it deep. Some people talk about their misery constantly. Others stay silent but radiate it. Either way, it affects us, often in ways we don't fully understand. Even when we think we're unaffected, our subconscious is absorbing it. That quiet part of the brain, the part we don't control, is soaking up the tension, the sadness, the bitterness. And that absorption has consequences. It can change our mood, our behavior, our outlook. It can make us irritable, withdrawn, or cynical without us knowing why. That's why discernment is crucial. We need to learn how to distinguish between someone who's having a bad day and someone who lives in a state of misery. A bad day is temporary. It passes. People recalibrate. They bounce back. But misery, real misery, is chronic. It's embedded in their worldview. Some people have misery in their veins. It's not just a mood. It's a mindset. And if you're not careful, you'll mistake one for the other. That mistake can cost you. You might offer compassion to someone who's just venting, but end up entangled in someone else's emotional chaos. Discernment helps you protect your peace. It helps you decide when to listen, when to step back, and when to walk away. Because misery is contagious. It spreads through words, through tone, through silence. It doesn't need permission to infect you. One of the most dangerous aspects of misery is how personal it can feel. Someone lashes out, and we take it to heart. But often their cruelty is just a symptom of their suffering. They're not attacking you. They're drowning and flailing in your direction. What they say isn't about you. It's about their own pain. But we internalize it anyway. We let their misery become ours. We carry their words like wounds. And soon, we're miserable too. This chain reaction reminds me of something darker. Every time there's a mass shooting in the U.S., it's often rooted in one person's misery. Their pain becomes violence, and that violence ripples outward. Families lose loved ones. Communities grieve. The misery multiplies. One act of despair creates hundreds more. Some survivors become bitter. Some turn their grief into anger, and that anger gets passed on to strangers, to co-workers, to their own children. It's a brutal cycle. Misery begets misery. And unless someone breaks the chain, it keeps going. I once watched a YouTube video that illustrated this perfectly. The speaker described a family dynamic. The father comes home from work, angry and defeated. He takes it out on his wife. She absorbs the blow, then passes it to their son. The son, overwhelmed, kicks the dog. Misery trickles down. From man to woman to child to animal. No one escapes. That's how powerful misery can be. It doesn't stop until someone refuses to pass it on. That's why emotional control matters. Some people are miserable, but they manage it. They don't let it spill into other people's lives. They smile through the pain. They show up with grace. They suffer quietly, but they don't make others suffer with them. That kind of strength is rare. It's a form of emotional discipline. Not everyone has it. Some people collapse the moment misery hits. They lash out, they drag everyone down with them. Their pain becomes a weapon. My mother was like that. When she was miserable, the entire household felt it. As a child, I had no defense against it. Her moods shaped the atmosphere. Her suffering became ours. And even now, as an adult, I still feel the echoes when we interact. It's exhausting. And it's why I've learned to distance myself, because outside of family, we owe no one our presence. Even with family, we have a choice. We don't have to stay in toxic environments. We don't have to absorb pain that isn't ours. Most of the time, the people spreading misery aren't even close to us. They're online. They're strangers at the store. They're acquaintances. Sometimes they're friends. And in those cases, we have to be honest. We have to say, if you keep dumping this on me, I can't stay. We have to choose positivity. We have to protect our mental space, because if we don't, we'll stay stuck in the same emotional loop. Nothing changes until we do. If we don't shift our mindset, the world around us stays the same. Misery becomes our default. That's why awareness is everything. You have to recognize when a situation is toxic. You have to name it. You have to act. Some people can do this effortlessly. They see misery, feel compassion, but remain unaffected. It doesn't touch them. They understand what's happening. They know it's not personal. They don't absorb the energy. They move through it untouched. Those people are rare, but they exist, and I try to be one of them. Still, it's hard, especially with family. Their words cut deeper. Their moods linger longer. Their pain feels personal. Maybe it's because of the media, the way families are portrayed, always laughing, always loving, always passing the chicken at dinner. Those images lie. They sell us a fantasy. They tell us what family should be. And when our reality doesn't match, we feel betrayed. We wonder what's wrong with us. But the truth is, many families are fractured. Many households are battlegrounds. I'm not saying all families are miserable, but the idealized version we're sold, it's not real. And pretending it is only deepens the pain. So we have to be honest about misery, about family, about what we're willing to carry and what we're ready to let go. Because misery will always exist. But we don't have to be its vessel. We don't have to pass it on. We can choose to break the chain. Anyways, thank you for listening to this episode of the Moore's October Rants. Signing out. Have a good one, guys. Goodbye for now.